Hello. Hi. I pray this message finds you well and full of love and light of the One Most High. If this is your first time joining me for a video, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you've been here before, you already know. You already know. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so this video is going to be about something that I come across, and I've known what it was, but there's a name for it, and so I'm just going to use the name. And it's referred to as metacognition, and all metacognition is thinking about thinking. Okay, so you're like, well, of course I think about thinking, but no, not really. No, do you? Do you? No, say not. Maybe you do, but what I mean is, bringing awareness to the fact that you are thinking. And this video actually ties into reprogramming, because I'm going to be going over how, essentially, for me and my experiences, and let me say that explicitly, that a lot of what I talk about here, everything that I talk about here, let me say, not everything I talk about is from my perception and in my reality and from my experiences. Okay, so I don't want there to be this, misconstrued as I'm talking about something that, I don't even know, but I just needed to be known that that is where I'm coming from. It's just my own experiences. Okay. I think that might be also like a disclaimer, like I don't claim to be an expert on anything or anything like that. And even if I did, like, who cares? Like, this YouTube university out here, right? So, but a lot of things are from people, and people are learning that that is what is important, is that you can learn from other people's experiences, whether you learn what to do or what not to do, right? Right. So, sorry, back to metacognition. Thinking about thinking, how that relates to reprogramming. Okay. So when I say thinking about thinking, I mean, say you're having a thought, right? And you're thinking, let's say you're thinking something happy. We're going to keep this positive for right now before we talk about reprogramming. Let's say you're thinking, oh, wow, what a beautiful day it is. You say that, that's what you're thinking, like, wow, it's such a beautiful day. But you thinking about your thought is saying, wow, that was a positive thought that I just said, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I just said something positive. That is you thinking about thinking, right? Because if you're thinking that it's a beautiful day versus you saying it, because we're going to say all of this is what you're thinking, right? Then that is you thinking about your thoughts, okay? And bringing awareness to what you're thinking. How this relates to reprogramming, okay? Because essentially the way reprogramming works is you want to be aware of what it is that you don't want to have anymore as far as negative thinking goes, right? Or even if there's something that you're lacking, say you're lacking focus, you have to be aware of the fact that you're unfocused. So when you get to the point of, say you're doing a task and then you start doing another task and you say, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Like, I am not focused here. I need to, I really want to be more focused. That is you thinking about you thinking. That is metacognition. Okay. So in reprogramming, when you're wanting to reprogram yourself to, and I use this as an example because it's the best thing for me to use, is say you have a fear of spiders, right? But you don't really want to be feared of spiders. You don't want to be afraid of spiders. So what you can do is, when you have a thought about spiders, one, recognizing that you done had the thought and the way that thought makes you feel. It makes you feel afraid. It makes you feel like there's something crawling on you. Bring awareness to that. Okay. Wow. When I think of spiders, this is what happens. This is what I do. This is my response. Okay. The next thing you are going to do when it comes to reprogramming and metacognition is that when these say a spider comes up and then you think, there's a spider. When it comes up and you recognize like, oh, this is the reaction I had, then you want to explicitly say that this is not how I want to react. I do not want to react this way. I don't want to have this outburst of a response when a spider comes around. Okay. So step 1, recognize that is, your response. Step 2, negate that response. Say that is something that you do not want. The next step, and all these steps are really easy, but it's about being consistent. The next step is replacing that with a positive or something that is more conducive to you getting around what it is that you were trying to get around. So when it comes to the spiders, the spiders they're scary. I don't want to think that spiders are scary. Now you're going to think like, that spider can't hurt me. I'm bigger than that spider. That spider is not worried about me. The spider is more afraid of me than I am. These are the thoughts that I'm thinking that are replacing the old thoughts of, it's a spider is going to jump at me, or the spider is going to get me. Okay. Bring awareness to those negative thoughts. Negate those. I do not want to think that about spiders. Then bring in what you want to have in order to be okay with what it is. Okay. And this goes for anything. And as easy as it sounds, it really is not that easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And the reason why it's not easy is because we are essentially programmed to resist change. So even though this is something that has no rational, there's no rationale behind your fear of spiders, because the spiders never bit you. If it has, then okay. But if I'm speaking to the people who hasn't, and again, this is an example for you reprogramming something that you realize is not beneficial for you, is not helping you, it no longer serves you. That's what the spider is. Okay. Replace spider with whatever it is that you were trying to reprogram. Okay. So we are, again, essentially programmed or hardwired to resist change because it is essentially a survival mechanism. Okay. And I'm using quotes because even that can be reprogrammed. Okay. And I know so because I've actually done it. I no longer resist a change when I'm trying to change something that I don't like about myself. Being judgmental was one of the things that I changed. I did not like that. I thought I really know that is, what is the point of that? And I'm talking about being judgmental in a way of like, oh, look what so-and-so has on, or why they look like that, or they look crazy, or, just passing judgment unnecessarily. Okay. And so I was able to change that and reprogram essentially. And then it was not that hard because I also removed that resistance barrier. Now, the logic mind or the ego mind is actually helpful in that way of being able to recognize when something is actually important enough for you to have resistance to, so of course, if there's a spider coming towards me that is potentially hazardous, or it's on me or whatever, now I still won't react crazy, or not crazy, but just, in an excited manner. I will then be able to, remove it or whatever. But if I knew that it was poisonous or something like that, then that just might make me move a bit more expeditiously. But I'm still not going to have this like frantic, and I only just got over my whole spider thing, which is why I'm even using this one. Just got over it. But anyway, so we are programmed to resist this change. And again, it was more of a survival type situation to help us. If we were doing something this long and it helped and we're still alive, then it must have helped us stay alive. Well, no. That's not always the case. Me being judgmental, that didn't help me stay alive, but my subconscious don't know that. It just know that that's what I've been doing. And so I'm going to continue to do it. And so when I went to go try to change it, it was resistant because it was thinking it was something that I needed to survive, which is not true. Logically, I know that it's not, right? So yes. Being consistent is the key because there is going to be some resistance, but knowing that there's going to be some resistance is what is going to allow you to stay consistent. Because when that resistance comes, and it comes in all different kinds of ways. For me, it was just like this uneasy feeling. Like it was just like, well, I'm not going to say all kinds of ways because I only experienced it as it feeling uneasy. Like it felt like I was going against the grain, but I was like, but logically, and this is when I use my logic mind to say, well, why does this feel uneasy? Like you're doing something that you know is of benefit, so that is what allowed me to continue on with the process of the reprogramming. With that being said, I hope this video made sense. I kind of feel like I was jumping all over the place, but there's a method to the madness, okay? Rewatch the video if you have to. But anyways, metacognition, how it relates to reprogramming, getting in the habit of thinking about thinking, that is the point. That is essentially the grand point of the video. But okay, my lovely, lovely people. With that being said, until next time, peace.